Hello, everyone. Got a little bit too much light going on here. It's a nice sunny day for a change. I'm so excited because we haven't had sun for quite some time now. So I'm really excited about the light. So welcome to Seven Powers of the Soul channel. I'm Angela Blaha, and this is a live channel with some Q&A. So you can start typing in your questions if you'd like. And I'll see how many I can get to today. But first we want to start off with, last week we talked about committing to the self. And I hope that you've started that practice, that sort of like real commitment to who you are, to your God self, to your love, to your expansion, to whoever it is that you're wanting to create in this world, in this earth, in this reality. We talked a little bit last time about doubt and how it sort of starts to creep in, and then what happens when doubt, like if you're really committed to yourself. Here's my story. When I don't do my practices every single day and I'm like really faithful to myself, doubt shows up. It creeps in and it creates a split in my mind. When that split happens, it tries to separate me from myself by thinking patterns, emotions that come up, my doubt in my own manifesting, like just the simplest things that I know that I'm really good at and that I could do all the time. Like it comes in and it creates chaos. So be committed, stay committed. This week, we'd like to talk a little bit about how to remember. 2016, my message that I got was to have full remembrance, or to demand full remembrance, or to ask for full remembrance. Now, that may not be for everyone, and remembering who you are, what you are, may not also be for everyone. But it is a part of being consistent to yourself. It is the part of you remembering your God self, the love, that pure essence of love that you are. Like, you have to remember that. You have to be able to feel that, to think about that, to experience it. And it happens through remembering. Okay, so don't be afraid to remember. I had some fear about remembering, but let me tell you, that year was very expansive for me. And the one thing that I really wanted to remember was my role in separation, because I know that this shift in consciousness right now is my part of my purpose is to help lead us out of separation. So for me, I had to fully remember my part, why I chose separation, how it came in, how it worked, how it created the split in who we knew that we were. So it was a very intense year, but I'm so glad that I experienced it, because I'm here now helping with, embodying my channel and like helping us figure out how to get out of separation, how to move out of those belief systems that totally hold us back, how to release those thought forms and the emotions that are attached to it, and we do it by remembering. So that, what we talked about last week about being consistent and committed to yourself, like that's a huge part of being able to move out of the belief that you're separate from your own God self, from your own essence, from your own love. And I'm not talking about love that is in duality kind of love where it's conditioned. I'm talking about the kind of love when you experience it, there are no words, right? Like that experience is just like you become addicted to that experience and you want it all the time. That's the kind of love that I want you to grab onto, to remember and to be fully committed to, because that will shift this world that we're in. That is what the shift in consciousness is really all about. And how do we do that? We do it by remembering it, by staying committed, right? That committed word, like it's a big word, right? And how do you stay fully committed to one thing? That one thing, yourself. How do you stay fully committed to yourself? It's the most beautiful gift you can give yourself. And no one can do it for you. So remembering belongs completely to the soul. Like that's a soul power, right? So is being fully committed to yourself. Like, but that power has many subcomponents to it, right? Like when we're committed, like we have to be willing to look at our belief systems, be willing to look at those thought forms, be in control of the thought forms, be fully committed to your emotions and what they are and how you can recognize them. And being able to move beyond the lessons, the learning, like that belongs to the ego, right? We're always talking about what's the lessons, what's the, how do you move out of something you experience the lesson? Well, that's not really true, because lessons are a loop. And y'all know how much I love loops. So when that doubt sort of tends to creep in, you have to ask what the doubt's there for. If it's to bring wisdom, now that's a whole different perspective. That's a whole different dynamic to the power, right? Remembering is one of the powers of the soul, but in remembering, there's no doubt. There's no lessons to be learned. There's an experience, and with the experience comes wisdom. So if you're remembering, right, and you're like moving into that power of who you are, what you want to request, demand, or command is the wisdom to come, not the remembering of the lesson. Two whole different dynamics, and they bring totally different rememberings. So ask for the wisdom to come with your remembering. So when I experienced remembering my role in separation, I did it in Peru when I was there. And the reason that I chose separation basically was so that, because I knew that we would come to this point in our shift in consciousness. I also knew that not being wiped from the earth was one of the options, and that was really what I was hoping for. So, or I knew it would come sooner or later, right? That we wouldn't be wiped this time. And so now here we are in this shift in consciousness and remembering my role in separation and in all the lifetimes that I played within that energy. Coming in this lifetime, I'm not playing in that energy. We're done with that. We're moving out of the ego, the separation, the belief that we have that we're not connected with our self, that we can't remember. That's crazy talk. And I'm proof, because I do remember. So I want you to be fully committed to remembering your God self, to having that experience, that the experience of your true essence, the true power of your love, how you can move mountains with that love. That's what I want you to feel. That's what I want you to experience. That's what I want you to be committed to. Because there's no greater gift. No greater gift than that. So welcome. Man, we have a few people here today. Thank you for joining. Let's see what kind of questions you have. So go ahead, put in your questions. I'm going to just say hello to a few people. Renee, Heather, Erin, Terry, Mariah, Sandra, Autumn, Erica, Christine, Tony, Barbie, Jenny. Oh, so what's the questions that you have? Hi, Jenna, Sandra. So good to see you all. I can feel you. I may not be able to see you. Well, actually, I can, but with the physical eyes, I can't necessarily see you. But Heather, hello, Heather. Renee, hi. Renee's asking, when you mention this great love, tears come right away. Yeah, exactly, right? Like this, that is your remembering. When you can feel the power of pure, conscious love, what happens to the physical body is our vibration may not be high enough to hold the energy of that. So that's what the tears are, right? The resistance to the power of it. And I'm not talking about, physical power or power over someone else, something else. I'm talking about the power that moves mountains, right? The depth and the vastness of love that is so strong that it can heal everything. Yes, it brings tears. So in those tears, ask what the resistance is. Like, why are you resisting the power of it? This happened to me for a while after we came back. Actually, it was before that. In Crestone, it was like so overwhelming. I just was like, all I did was cry, right? Cry. Let them come. Let the tears come. But then move deeper into the essence of it, the energy of it, and allow yourself to experience it, even if it's for a short time, right? Like, even for nanoseconds, still allow it to come in. Allow yourself to experience it because it's freaking magnificent. Jenny, what is the benefit of remembering? Well, the benefit is allowing yourself to have that experience of your own essence, of your true essence, right? Because when we can remember, when we can have that experience, we want it more. We know how to bring it into us more. Our belief systems begin to shed, right? The equinox is upon us, right? That's a shedding of something, right? Shedding of the winter, getting rid of that sort of energy, moving into something new, something more expansive, something that brings us, for me, it brings a lot of joy. So the benefits of remembering is for you to like move further into the commitment of who you are. Because once you grab hold, like I said, once you grab hold of that essence, that's all you really want. You seek it, you become it, you embody it, you express it to the world. And when we express that essence of who we really are, we change the world around us. Great questions. Jen has been full of positive energy and love today. Yes, the shifting of the energies, right? That it plays a big part in our energy field. Like if you haven't paid attention to the solar flares, they're very extreme right now. And we have solar flares primarily for a distraction for the energies that are coming in, shifting and waking up more and more people. So I'm glad that you're feeling the energies. The sun also helps, right? Sun helps me. These days of no sun is exhausting. All right. I'm wondering how I have this awesome energy today and what do I need to be recognizing? Just recognize the energy, right? Recognize what is happening between the sun, the moon, where you're aligned today, because that's really when we feel magnificent, is when we're really soul aligned. So it feels like, Jenna, like you've already experienced some level of your essence today. So bring that in further, right? Like bring it into every cell. That's what you need to recognize. You need to recognize, like, when you're feeling awesome, what's aligned. Because what happens then is you want more of that, and you seek more of that. You bring more of that into your life. Then you don't have to work so hard on, being committed to who you are. Yes, the sun helps so much, doesn't it? The sun. Ugh, I'm a sun worshiper. Everyone knows. Hey, Corinne. Hey, Angela. Hi, Melanie, Lisa. Ask your questions. I'm here for you. We're here for you. It's not just me. I'm just enjoying the light. There's a lot of light shining on me right now. Woo. Erin, hello. I feel like I am such a transition period all of a sudden, but it's making me feel a little lost. So transitions. How can I explain this? Transitions are meant to make you feel lost. This is why. If we don't feel a little bit lost within our energy field, like a little disoriented, almost in chaos sometimes, the belief systems don't release. It's when we're lost that's sort of a recognition, or should be a recognition for you, that you've changed a belief system and you're looking for something different. You're looking for something new. So start to recognize the newness that's trying to come in, rather than focusing on the lost energy. So, maybe it feels like, Erin, if you went out for a little walk and just focused on, or demanded yourself to know what the newness is, like what's the new transition, like what's the new energy that's trying to be embodied, and you actually allowed that to happen through the walking, because when we distract our body, like, it embodies quicker. That's why walking is important, or yoga, or some type of exercise is important, because it distracts the body. So try that. Let me know how it works. And yeah, it will work. It will work. Lisa says, how many mothers are there? That's a great question, because I have no answer. I've actually, hey Deb, I actually have been sort of wondering about that myself, since it's a team of them, a big team of them. And when I was on my walk this morning, that actually came in. It's weird. But what I recognized was that we think of mothers as feminine energy, and not everyone in the on the committee is feminine energy. Like Yeshua sits in the committee, or in the council, and we knew him as masculine energy. The purpose of the mothers, or what their main focus is finding tools and ways to break down the belief systems, and ways to break down the emotions, to move you through separation, because their focus is the pure consciousness of the soul. And so that's why there's so many of them, I think, is because, and a lot of them tap into each one of you. And so that's funny. That was on my walk this morning that sort of came through. So I hope that answered your question. Hey, Amber. Renee. I would not have thought that the tears were resistance. Tears are resistance most of the time. It felt like when you see a newborn baby and am so overwhelmed with love that it brings tears, such joy. Right, but are you embodying the joy? That's what the resistance is. So is it a resistance to coming back and the loss of that feeling? No, the resistance is the embodiment. because the physical form vibration of the physical cells doesn't always match the vibration of the essence, right? So sometimes the vibration of the physical body is here, and the vibration of the essence is, it's pure. It doesn't have any of the toxins that are in our physical form. And if our DNA hasn't moved from carbon base to full crystalline base, there's that discrepancy. And so that's why that's why I say it's resistance, because it's the embodiment component that we're really moving into. That's where we're at in this shift in consciousness right now. That's why all the solar flares are happening, is to move, to change the cellular structure of who we are. Once that we remove that carbon base DNA structure, more DNA opens, and it moves into more of a crystalline kind of energy. And it's that energy that can hold essence better and longer. These physical bodies just were not created to, well, they were in origination before separation came in. We did hold the pure essence, but then separation came in and manipulated the cellular structure of the physical form. And so now we're moving out of that and into more of the crystalline energy, but it takes time, because we live in time and space, because that's the present reality still. And so so it just takes a little bit of time for that to transition over. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that really makes sense. All right, what other questions do you have? I have 2 more minutes, maybe 3. You're welcome, Renee. For those of you who are super interested in more of the 7 powers of the soul, here is an online email series where we talk about each of the powers. It's really, you can do it at home. You don't have to worry about, going someplace or doing any of those kinds of things. And you can get into the group, into Arise Through Ascension, and, we talk about some of that stuff in there. Other ways that you can learn about 7 powers of the soul is we have live events that we do. Renee Cahill, who is on here today, is one of the presenters in those live events. And if you want us to come and bring a live event to your area, please let me know. Be happy to arrange that. Where we do talk about, the first day we talk about, the 7 powers of the soul. We go through them. We give you tips and tools that actually work. And then the second day we move deeper into some of those tips and tools. And we do live channelings with all 6 of us. We do some sound healing, which are amazing. So those are 2 different ways that you can experience more of the 7 powers of the soul and the mothers, for sure. I'm also creating an online version of 7 Powers of the Soul live event, so look for that to be coming up shortly. Hey, Angela. I have to say something about Angela here. She is one of the biggest troopers I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. If you want to talk about the light worker ground crew, Angela is one of them. I just admire her so much because she's been through a lot. So she asks, through this tough chemo time, I'm almost done. Oh, thank goodness. But keep feeling like I have to be my soul, like act, feel, be it. Does grounding this make it better? Or how do I stay grounded consistently? Well, grounding, first you have to ask yourself, what what your definition of grounding is, right? If you ground into your own energy, and I've done this before, where you take a deep breath in and you just pull your energy in, where you feel safe with your own energy, that's what grounding is. Grounding is a belief. There, I said it. Grounding is just simply a belief that was created. I don't even know where it was created from. I personally cannot ground into the earth. Never could. Even though, because if you believe in wholeness or oneness, you already are the earth. What you need to feel safe in, which is why we ground, right, is to feel safe in who we are, then you need to ground into yourself. If you're wanting to be your soul, you already are your soul. Grounding into your soul, what you need to do is open the dimension of your soul. Open the dimension of your God or goddess self that resides within you. Ground into that, because that's where your essence is. Let that come out into the world. Let that seep into every cell that you have. Does that answer your question, Angela? I'm just rereading her question to make sure I understood it. How I stayed grounded consistently is literally once I became comfortable in myself, I had no need for grounding. I had no need for moving into, feeling like I'm attached to the earth, because I am the earth. So that's how you ground consistently, is you become comfortable in your own skin. You become comfortable in your own being. You become comfortable in who you are, what you are. And you express that to the world. Don't be afraid to express your love to the world. The world needs you. It really needs you. So I'm calling it quits because I have a meeting again. So thank you for joining me. If you have more questions, you can ask them on the thread and I'll try to get to them. I hope to see you at one of the Soul Power events, or at least the event online. And if you're, again, interested in the expansion experience, the email experience, where I combine science and the science behind our shift in consciousness, then start there. All right, take care, everyone. I love each and every one of you. And have a great evening and enjoy the sun. Bye-bye.